ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the recapping review of NCIS Season 11, Episode 3, Under the Radar. And there is a cricket in this room waiting to viciously attack me as soon as I let my guard down, so let's begin. So a woman with ants in her kitchen sees her landlord get blown up in an explosion. The 15th explosion we've seen so far this season. Did they, purchase them in, a bundle pack and just had to use them all at once? The new theme song sequence isn't that bad. I mean, it's still painful, but they have the Berlin car crash in it, which should, ironically, make it more painful. But, I mean, Ziva's still there in spirit, right? Being crushed by her father's murderer. Still, it's a good theme. So Tony walks in, and Murray is just sitting there, just scrubbing her hard drive, just sitting at the desk, just ruining my life. Are you happy, Murray? Are you happy where you are right now? Ziva left the picture! Why? Why did she leave the picture behind? But Murray sees it, and he asks how close Tony and Ziva were. They weren't close at all. What are you talking about? What would possibly make you think that? But Tony puts the picture away, and we see that he has Ziva's necklace in his drawer, and he smiles, and there is light in the world again. But McGee lost his cred, so there's that cloud kind of chilling in the room. Of course, they go to a crime scene, and this cop is, obsessively checking everyone's IDs. That's super ironic. I mean, what are the odds? Ho-ho! Ho-ho! McGee manages to get in, and it's wonderful, and I'll talk about this later, but this episode just made me love McGee so much more. Brina and Jimmy are going through with the adoption, and a little baby Homer just warms my heart, and I'm squealing because babies. Speaking of babies, have you seen the NCIS fandom lately? Oh! We're so delusional and hopeless. We also find out we're looking for Lieutenant Keith. Yeah. Then, back at the bullpen, Ziva's phone starts ringing and no one knows how to answer it, and everyone needs a moment, and I need a moment, so let's take a moment, please. And then Tony is, of course, he's the one to get up and answer and be like, she doesn't work here anymore. And apparently it was the dental hygienist who ruined our lives again. So apparently during Ziva's rage to forget this past life, she neglected to cancel all her appointments, so her new life doesn't include dental hygiene, apparently. Then Gibbs kind of is the one to be very harsh. She wanted to move on, so let's move on. And that makes me wonder if he is kind of hurting inside. Well, obviously he's hurting, but if being very unemotional about it, if that's his way of moving on, I think that would make a lot of sense, because, he's been hurt so much in the past, so it would make sense for him to be very, there are no words for what I'm trying to describe, only hand motions. He's very closed off, that's it. Next time. McGee makes my sad acting face. Whenever I'm acting in something and I have to be sad, this is my automatic go-to face. Before I even have to think about it, I automatically do the same exact face that McGee did. And it's this, where it's it's the exact same face. It's literally, I don't know. Twinsies! Does he have her number? Is there a secret affair going on? I saw some people think about that, and I was thinking about that, so I'm very curious if that'll become a thing in later episodes. I hope so. That's exciting. How awesome would that be if you just casually and secretly and just progressively bring up the fact that Tony has a girlfriend and no one knows who it is, and then it turns out to be Ziva. Ooh, please do that. I'm squealing and it hasn't happened. I don't even know if it will happen, but I'm excited. And then the new special agent walks in. I didn't know Fran Fine was a special agent. Apparently, it's not the nanny named Fran, and is one of Mike Franks' old partners, and she's very familiar familiar, and I saw a lot of people say that, so I think everyone just knows a person like this, and that makes her really relatable and nice. And I liked her. I'm not even gonna try and hide it. I really did like her. And McGee and Tony have that reaction from like that promo we got on Arsenio, and I love it, and their facial expressions are my favorite, and that's, yeah, facial expressions are wonderful. Oh my goodness, throughout this entire badge situation, I could literally feel McGee's anxiety. Like, I can like feel it in my chest right now thinking about it, because I'm a very anxiety-prone person. And just watching that, like, oh my god, it made me want to, like, hide under the covers and never think about it ever again. And then, in Autopsy, we see that they really stepped up the dead bodies for this episode. Lucky us. We do see Ducky talk about him envying Palmer's chance to have a family, and we don't hear that a lot from Ducky, and I thought that was really nice and kind of sad, and I hope we touch on that more often, because he is older, and he lost his mother, and we have talked about how alone he is before, but we've never really talked about, like, a family with Ducky, and I would love to hear more of his perspective and, like, his thoughts on that and how he feels. Everyone having things that he doesn't have. Ducky. But he has, like, a son in Palmer and, like, a daughter-in-law in Brina, and he'll have, like, a little grandchild. And I'm done. I'm done. So Abby talks about the sterile puppets. Aren't all puppets sterile? Or did I just sleep through like a really important health class? And then McGee is panicking and freaking out, and so Abby gives him Ziva's scarf. And that's just really nice to me, and it feels very calming just thinking that he has that, and it's so nice, and I'm glad that's happening, and I hope we see more of it. And McGee texted Ziva. Wouldn't it be funny if Ziva texted back McGee and not Tony? Remember the ending to Chasing Ghosts? Fun times. But I love how Ducky comments on McGee's sassy new scarf wear, and like, can McGee, like, just wear this around from now on? He has the scarf, and he has the desk that Ziva was sitting at. I hope Tony sees it, and maybe it'll lead to some strange sexual tension. Maybe we shouldn't see the scarf again. And then McGee is looking for his badge in MTAC, which is a really funny scene, by the way. I laugh every time. Vera refers to McGee as one of Gibbs's kids, and she said it so casually and nonchalant, and I love how it's just a thing, because, like, these kids are his family, and that's a really, really important line, and I love that that was included. I love things like that. But then Vera tries to go down and sit in Ziva's desk, and unless your ass is of the Israeli descent, you're not parking it there. McGee and Donoso freak out, and then Gibbs directs her to the corner. What else can you do? So then Gibbs finds out about McGee's badge, and Vera has to go out on field work, and apparently Donoso has a very widespread reputation of being an accident waiting to happen. And then Vera says, didn't someone try and shoot you a few months ago? And Donoso says he missed. And that's kind of a really good summary of Donoso's life. And then we get a moment between Donoso and Vera where they're talking about Mike Franks. We get this vibe that there were more than just coworkers, and wow, two agents having a special relationship? Being more than just coworkers? Where in the world have I heard that before? It'll come to me eventually. And then Donoso always comments on the horrible way Ziva drives, and then Vera comes and comments on the way he drives, and that was nice. I appreciated that. I don't even know if it was supposed to be thought of that way, but I thought of it that way, and I'm going with it. So then this guy, like, bursts out with his truck, and Donoso has to push Vera, and then she gets up and she has, like, a sprained ankle. How did she do that exactly? Like, where in the fall did, like, her ankle twist? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I can't judge. We do know how judgmental those doctors can be. So then we find out that Keith has a pilot's license and a lot of dangerous material, and it's not looking good, and it's especially not looking good when we're looking at the bomb that he's making. And then Vera's gone, just like that. That was quick. They grow up so fast. We just can't hold a female agent down, can we? And then McGee's badges are found by the government. Oh no! then, with 8 minutes left, they finally introduced the Twitter storyline, and it was really not as prominent or as annoying as I thought it would be, which was really good. Really good in my opinion. I really like how they used Twitter to like solve this huge international incident in this show, and in real life it's used to talk about things celebrities do and remind me that Burger King was giving away free french fries this weekend. And then they compliment McGee's idea, and Denoza looks at him like the proud older brother, and I love the family dynamic that's going on in this episode. And then we see the guy turn the plane around, and Gibbs tries to convince him to stop it, but he can't, and we get another explosion, and it's sad and loud. And then Eugene comes to lay the fist down on McGee, and then Vance comes in and is like, no. And then Gibbs walks away with his arm around McGee. That sounded romantic. In a fatherly way, and Eugene is left in the dust. Sorry, Eugene. I liked your bow tie, though. So that was Under the Radar. I have to say, I liked it a lot more than I was expecting to. The NCIS writers are not stupid. They know what they're doing. They know how to keep an audience. They know, for the most part, what the right moves are to pull in a certain situation. And they're putting that to good use. The episode was a little boring in the middle. Like, I actually considered like turning it off and sleeping at one part just because I was really tired and it was really slow in the middle. But they did mention Ziva a lot, and it made me really hopeful that we'll get a lot of Ziva mentioning in the future, and that's something I didn't expect, so I'm definitely keeping my fingers crossed. I thought they did a really good job of transitioning past Ziva's farewell. Oh goodness. Originally I had thought that Twitter was taking the front seat of this episode and McGee was going to be hanging from the back windshield wipers. But no, it was actually the other way around, and this was a really good episode for McGee. It wasn't a big emotional one like Squall, it was just a very casual one, and it was so funny, and he did so well. Sean Murray is such a good actor, and I feel like I don't praise him enough for that, but he is. McGee was funny, and he could be serious and like scared, and it was just a really, really awesome episode for him. And the Twitter thing was not annoying at all. They went about that awesomely. It was there, but it wasn't obnoxious, and I didn't think that was possible for an episode about Twitter, but they managed to do it. A+. I went in with really low expectations for this episode and was very pleasantly surprised. I'm interested to see how the episodes are going to be in the future, if they get better or worse, or just kind of stay at this level. I know the ratings did drop a little bit lower than they normally would at this point, but I guess that's to be expected. I know some people are boycotting it, and then some people just really watch it for Ziva and weren't interested anymore. And this, I feel like the next 3 or 4 episodes are going to be a big do or die, because if people don't like the next 3 or 4, they're probably not going to stay for the rest of the season if they don't like it now. That being said, I have faith that they'll be able to do somewhat okay. Don't get me wrong, I would take her back in 2 seconds. I am not giving up on getting her back, and I have deep faith though that she'll come back to us one day. And it was not the same. It was not the same, and I missed her the whole time, and I wanted to cry and just weep over the empty desk. But I made it through, and so therefore it was not as awful as I thought. We'll see next week, or the week after that. I might be like, no. But I'm not giving up on it quite yet. I am excited for next week, and I will talk to you guys about that soon. So I'll see you guys later. Hey, jazz hands. Oh, both of them are out. That's why it's so dark. I have 3 lights and 2 of them are out. So that's why the quality of this video is going to be awful. I'm not as pale as I look in these videos, because I look at these videos and my skin literally looks gray. I'm not gray. I promise. Is there anything else you guys think about me? I would love to do like a Q&A video sometime in the future. That would be fun. Tell me a fun fact about yourself in the comments, and tell me what you thought about that episode. This starts out as an NCIS review, but by like the last 30 seconds, I'm just talking about my life. So, roll with it. That's my life motto.